Well, Wednesday's Guardian now, they've been covering the government's proposal for a new conversion bill. What is it, and will it affect the new camper van I'm getting built for my summer holidays, Josh?
Well, I don't know if it depends where you're going to go with it, to the EU or non-EU or whatever. This is The Guardian. So it is going through, or it's gone through, where the bill, it's quite an interesting thing where it's basically, it's gone through anybody under 18, like this bill covers, like this conversion ban pack.
And this is to do with sexuality.
Sexuality,
right?
yeah.
So in other words, you're not going to... it will be illegal.
For anybody under 18, but it turns out there's not... I wouldn't necessarily call it a loophole. Some people are saying it's a loophole. But essentially, anybody over 18 who consents to some kind of conversion therapy or whatever, i.e., I'm assuming from what I saw in films where there'd be like someone who's a Christian who doesn't want to be... thinks that they don't want to be gay anymore, or whatever, that they can then do that as long as it doesn't involve like physical harm or anything.
So isn't that...
Milo Yiannopoulos did that, didn't he?
Yes, Milo Yiannopoulos did that, absolutely. And isn't that, in a sense, because, I mean, when we think of sexual conversion therapy, we think back to, like, the 70s and 80s when people had electrodes tied to them, really cruel. What it was basically torture, let's face it. And that's already now illegal. So that's what's misleading here. When we're talking about conversion therapy regarding sexuality and sexual orientation, we're talking about therapy, as in discussions with these counsellors, and I think it's bunkum. But shouldn't adults have the choice if they want to put themselves through this stuff? I mean, the data's in on this, by the way. You can't convert your sexuality. You can hide it, you can suppress it, but it's not going to change who you essentially are. So, but shouldn't adults be able to do that if they want?
Yeah, I think they should. At least they should have that option. But then there's, like anything here, it's that there's murky areas, Are they being coerced? Like, they might say that they're not, but, if it's a cult, if it's, Christianity...
That's a cult, is it? It's quite a big cult.
Quite a big cult. They've done pretty well.
Pretty well,
those
cults go.
Does it happen in Judaism?
No, but there's an interesting thing in Judaism where lesbians technically don't exist.
Right.
So,
is that right?
Yeah, so homosexuality is like seen as like immoral, whatever. Obviously, I don't believe that, and that's an Orthodox thing. But they just don't mention lesbians in the Bible because it's seen as all like exchanging of fluids essentially. So you can be totally lesbian; it's totally fine.
Right.
Lesbians come and hang out with the Jews. It's all good.
That's your pitch.
That's the pitch. Come on.
I think I've seen that film. The conversion therapy bill was also going to stop any discussion. So if a child presented with ideas of sort of gender dysmorphia, it would stop any discussion with a doctor or a professional that didn't lead to gender conversion.
That's the confusion, isn't it? Because there are two types of what they're calling conversion therapy here. There's conversion therapy relating to sexual orientation, and then what they're calling conversion therapy relating to trans kids or kids with gender dysphoria. But that's not conversion therapy. No. That's doctors talking to kids who are confused about their gender identity. And they're lumping all of this together in quite a dangerous way.
Yeah, the trans activists are lumping it together. Yeah, because the difference is conversion therapy for the latter sense would be like going and saying, oh, I think I might be a boy or a girl, and the therapist saying, that's cool, but why don't we talk about, your depression or maybe history of sexual assault or things that have happened that might be the reason, the cause for that.
But they're suggesting, the activists are certainly suggesting that that's the same as effectively
if you don't
telling
accept
a gay
someone
kid
straight
you're
away.
not gay. And it's not the same, and that's what's causing a lot of confusion.